week in Tech Pulse, we're talking war tech and innovations. Much has shifted since the past decade. Among the innovations likely to steal the show in 2026 is the AI and machinery fueling the war between the US, Iran, and Israel. We'll take a new look at the tripartite showdown in the Middle East and how armies are entering beast and stealth modes using tech. First up, the U.S. Army backing Israel. The U.S. remains the world's leading military power, with the largest defense budget of $895 billion in 2025-2026.
If you ever wonder about the latest technologies that the U.S. Army is working on, look no further. Recently, the footage of the Army's Project Convergence was made public. Now, even though no real capabilities were disclosed, we see things like javelin launchers mounted on an autonomous vehicle that's also equipped with a machine gun and a smoke machine. This appears to be a refueling drone that flies a fuel hose to an unknown distance away. And finally, this looks like the American version of the Ukrainian Baba Yaga heavy bomber drone that can drop grenades from the sky. This is all just a tiny glimpse into how the U.S. Army is transforming itself in preparation for the future of warfare.
Iran's tech is not to be overlooked. It focuses on regional dominance through a large army, missile technology, and proxy forces, but holds lower global military ranking compared to the US, China, or North Korea, the military giants.
Missiles form the backbone of Iran's deterrence strategy. The objective is to disrupt the tempo of a U.S. campaign and raise its cost, not to fight a single decisive battle. The first branch is ballistic missiles aimed at striking bases. Systems such as the Fateh 110, Fateh 313, Zulfiqar, and Dezful have ranges from several hundred to over 1,000 kilometers, sufficient to target U.S. bases in Iraq, Qatar, or the United Arab Emirates. At longer ranges, the Shahab 3, Sajal 2, and Khorramshahr expand regional deterrence capability. The purpose of these systems is not absolute precision, but to strike airfields, ammunition depots, and ports. Targets that force an opponent to disperse defenses.
China, though not directly linked to this ongoing war, ranks number 1 or 2 globally, competing with Russia. It has the world's largest navy by ship count, a rapidly growing nuclear arsenal, and a major focus on AI and cyber warfare. It recently reminded the world why it must not be toyed with, unveiling new military tech at its recent Victory Day parade.
We're going to start with the flashiest thing that they rolled out, and that is a truck-mounted directed energy weapon system called the LY-1. Get it? Flashiest because it's a laser. Get it? Whatever. Anyways, this thing is massive. According to Chinese state media, LY-1 is designed for air and missile defense and could eventually be used aboard warships. The US equivalent might be the Helios, which is a 60 to 100 kilowatt laser now being tested on Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. For ground-based systems, though, the closest US counterpart is probably the DEM SHORAD, which is a 50 kilowatt laser mounted on a Stryker vehicle intended for, as the name implies, short-range air defense. We've seen China rely on silo-launched ICBMs like the DF-5, which has been around since the 80s, but still had a new version unveiled at the parade, the DF-5C, and more recently the DF-41. But the DF-61 appears to be a lighter, more modern design. This was also the first time that China has publicly displayed all 3 legs of its nuclear triad, which are ground, sea, and air. That included road-mobile ICBMs like the DF-61, a submarine-launched missile like the JL-3 deployed in 2023, but it was first shown in this parade, and what appears to be a new air-launched ballistic missile dubbed the JL-1. That's a rare move. For decades, China maintained mostly a relatively minimal nuclear force focused on second strike deterrence.
Meanwhile, the war continues online. Only this week we learned AI may have been exploited by hackers. Anthropic's Claude Code assistant was reportedly abused in a cyber incident against the Mexican government systems. That's according to Israeli cybersecurity startup Gambit Security reports. As part of the attack, 10 Mexican government bodies and a financial institution were compromised, beginning with the country's tax authority in late December 2025. We'll get the experts to weigh in next week. But that's it for Tech Pulse, and remember, the future is now.